Tony Khan just revealed some breaking news on Twitter, and this is actually some really positive, interesting, cool stuff that's happening. He has announced a new signing. In fact, Tony Khan said he is the new AEW Wrestling Administration Coordinator, working in many areas of wrestling, live events, social media, creative, PR. He has a great mind, and he's here backstage tonight at Wednesday Night Dynamite, live on TBS, and it's official. Will Washington is All Elite. Now, you might know Will Washington, maybe you don't, but for those who don't know, Will Washington previously was working at Fightful. He was a podcast host. He's been a longtime podcaster, and now he is joining AEW. And quite honestly, this might generate some mixed reactions, right? A lot of people may have mixed reactions about this, but anytime a wrestling company is getting involved with people who talk about it for a living, I think it's a good thing, right? I think you got to be open-minded as a leader and say, listen, we need to hear different minds, being able to inject different ideas, and having somebody who's a podcaster who's generated a pretty large following, I think that's a positive thing for pro wrestling. And, I would like to see WWE and AEW hire more content creators. And more specifically, too, when you look at like AEW games or WWE games, and you got up, down, down, they should be working with top creators, because at the end of the day, the top creators are the ones who are constantly, on the road working and constantly putting out content and constantly engaging with an audience. And yes, the internet wrestling community is a bubble, but at the end of the day, I think it's important for these companies to have a little bit of a different perspective injected into their product. And I don't know much about Will Washington. I'm being honest. I know he did some stuff with Grapsity and Fightful, and he had his own show with Denise Salcedo, and that's cool. It's cool to see that somebody from, our community, our internet wrestling community bubble, get an opportunity to do some work for AEW. I think it's positive. Honestly, I do. I think it's positive. I think WWE and AEW should be doing more stuff like this. What's really interesting is in the Tony Khan statement, he says he threw in the word creative. So I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if Will Washington will basically, become part of like the creative team at AEW. It looks like he's going to be wearing many hats in the company. What is that going to look like long term for AEW? It's going to be pretty exciting to see. But yeah, again, I understand. People are going to have mixed reactions about this. Some people are going to say, people are going to say a lot of things about this. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I want to see wrestling companies grow. That's really what it comes down to. I don't care if they're hiring podcasters and content creators. I don't care if they're hiring legends in the world of wrestling. I don't care if they're hiring, TV writers for sitcoms. I don't care how they go about it. I want to see them create good, compelling content. And at the end of the day, when you have somebody in the wrestling community that's a podcaster, somebody who's been doing it for a while, somebody who is constantly engaged with their audience, I think that is also a really impactful tool to utilize. And I want to be very clear here, because I think a lot of people are going to get lost in this idea, oh, well, maybe Will Washington, what does he know? He didn't come from WWE. This is stuff I'm already seeing being said on Twitter. Or, oh, well, he worked at Fightful. Or, at the end of the day, guys, look at what a content creator does. Some people don't realize it. Sometimes you guys just look at content creators as like they upload a video and that's it. And I can't speak for everybody, but the life of a content creator, especially one that's full-time, requires a lot of engagement and connection to what they're actually doing. I look at my analytics, I look at my comments, I look at my Discord community, I look at my social media, I'm looking at my videos, I'm planning things months out in advance. And the reason why I do that is because I love what I do. And I think a lot of content creators do a lot of work, and some people don't actually realize what it takes to be a content creator sometimes. And, I think because wrestling content creators specifically are so engaged with their audience, I think it's a good perspective to have somebody like that involved in the background, in the backstage stuff with wrestling. And I want to kind of throw this out there too. I look at WWE and AEW, both in their gaming department. The first thing I would be doing is reaching out to content creators who are involved with making videos for their video games, right? People who make gaming content on YouTube are the ones who know what people are looking for. They're the ones who are creating content and coming up with ideas. And yes, it is a bubble. It doesn't mean that they necessarily have a mainstream connection, but I think that level of input is a game changer. Ultimately, Will Washington is All Elite. I kind of suspected something like this would be going down because we knew he left Fightful just a few days ago. But, best of luck to Will Washington. Best of luck to AEW, and hopefully some good stuff comes out of this. Let me know what you guys think down below.